Good afternoon.
Okay, now we're live.
Now we are live.
Okay. Hey, everyone. I want to come to you with, or I'm coming to you, I don't want to, with Dr. Andrea. Dr. Andrea is in California. She's phenomenal. And today we're talking about how women in chiropractic are successful and juggling it all. Because, for instance, I'll ask Dr. Andrea a few questions and she'll go into her story, but how do you juggle it all? And I think that's so important to understand. You already have a successful practice and coming from another country, which is impressive to me. Not too foreign because my mom is from Mexico, so I'm familiar with the potential challenges that come across not being born here in the US and speaking English as your first language and such. But I do want to start there. So welcome.
Thank you, Lily.
And I'm super excited that you're here. I love your background.
Thank you.
And
I'm sitting right in my office here, and that background I look at every single day, and I've been now in my new office for the last 2 years, and I'm not tired of my background yet. It's difficult for me because it looks so beautiful, and then my paperwork, I'm lacking a little bit with my paperwork because I'm distracted.
It's tempting, right?
I know, it is, because I calm down so much that I don't want to do paperwork, but then I do. Because that's what we do.
That's what successful women do.
Let's do the full circle. That's what moms do. We juggle balls, and we're making sure that we don't drop too many at the same time. But when it comes to business, I realize, that juggling sometimes doesn't work because we only have two hands. So what we got to do is, instead of juggling stuff, we have to get that long stick and do that thing with a plate. Because when you have the plates on,
like Mary Poppins would.
Yeah. Because then you don't have to juggle everything. You just have to spin that plate a little bit, and you still.
And you're good at that. You're great at spinning plates. And so let's talk about your beginnings. How did you get into chiropractic? Not everyone has a full throttle, impactful, life-changing experience with chiropractic. So what was it like for you? Well,
here's a little background where I'm from, as you know, and as a lot of people know, because I speak with that funny accent. That's a German accent. I grew up in Germany for the first, I have to think, 24 years of my life. In a couple of years, I'm going to be 50% in the United States, which is crazy to think about. But yeah, I was, and I'm still
35.
Oh yeah, please. I'm still a good German because I cannot get rid of that accent. But how I got introduced to chiropractic was by pure coincidence and just by luck, I would say. I did something totally different in a homeland. I just finished law school, and I wanted to be that lawyer who was going to change the world. But I needed to take some vacation because after you finish law school, you have to wait a little bit in order to get your first job. And that waiting period, I filled it up with coming to the States. And so I got here and I loved it. But I had no intention to move over here because why should I, right? And but I started, running and getting into exercise more, and I sprained my ankle pretty badly. I was, okay. And then somebody told me you should see a chiropractor. And I had no idea what chiropractic actually means. But I was already here in California, and, California can be strange to people who don't live here. People here do yoga and they eat raw fish and they meditate.
Granola. Okay.
Yes.
That's what we're called. Those who are into super eating healthy and clean. Yeah.
Everything has to be organic. I'm now the living proof of that granola one. So anyway, somebody said, go and see a chiropractor. And, I'm like, okay, I have nothing to lose. And I went to a chiropractor, and she did an examination on me and she adjusted not only my ankle, the thing I came in with, but she adjusted my shoulders and my neck and the rest of my spine. And it was shocking to me how different, not only physically, but mentally and emotionally, I felt after a couple of adjustments. It scared me. It totally scared me.
Really? Emotionally. So let's talk about emotionally.
No, I don't want to talk about that. No, but
is there anything in general that you can?
It's almost like a fog came off my brain and my mind, and I felt more connected to my body and being myself. And it was weird. It was very weird. And I went back to the chiropractor, and I was, like, what did you do on me? That doesn't make sense. And I wanted to know. Yeah. And so I was hanging around that chiropractic office for, I would say, 2.5 weeks. And then I pretty much had to go back to Germany. And I went back and I talked to my family about that I'm going to go back to California for another 5 years of my life to study chiropractic. And I think it was...
Wait, did that chiropractor talk to you about chiropractic college? Or did you just
no
figure that's what you wanted to do?
I'm apparently, when I look back, I just made up my mind, and I didn't speak.
I would have to ask like 20 people. They would all have to be my mentors.
Yeah, normally I'm totally the same, but that time it's a huge leap of faith when I look back now, and I didn't speak English. Wow. As you probably know, college or university in Europe or in Germany, it's paid by the government. So there's not big a student loan. But when you come here to the States, you figure out you actually have to pay for school. So, I came back and I got myself a visa. I got myself a job. And I went to chiropractic college. Before I did a lot of prerequisites and chiropractic college afterwards.
Very cool.
My story.
So that's your story, and it's awesome. Very inspirational for just breaking your ankle. Yeah, which
not even training.
Training. Sorry, I totally would have been like, okay, that's nice. I'm moving on to law school, or whatever. So that's pretty exciting. Now, what college did you attend? I know, but.
I went to Life Chiropractic College West. That's north of here. If there are any people out there who wants in Hayward, beautiful Hayward,
Northern California. For those who aren't in California,
45 minutes from where I live right now. If anyone wants to become a chiropractor and think about going to chiropractic college, visit that college. It's a great college. You get a really good education. You get a really good foundation when it comes to technique, academics, and also the philosophy of chiropractic. I
was just there actually a few weeks ago.
Did you like it?
I wasn't able to visit. It was nice. I wasn't able to visit the museum room that they have because it was locked. But it's. I took a picture. Okay, I took a picture right next to Dee Dee. I think it's Dee Dee. Okay. The Dee Dee statue. So it's a great place.
Yeah, it has good energy, and I met some incredible people. And when it comes to chiropractor, they're a weird bunch because a lot of them have their story. No one really comes to chiropractic because they just need to have another job or a new profession they want to be in. Everyone has their gut-wrenching stories, their inspirational stories, their funny stories. And you meet young people and elderly people and people from different kind of backgrounds and from all over the world.
Yeah, that's exciting. So chiropractic college, you graduate, and then what happens?
Yep. And then I opened my office. I did a short internship, like almost like an externship, associate. Let's call it an associate position for 6 months, where I learned a lot what to do and even better what not to do. And it was a great experience, not when I was in it, but later on, I see it as a positive. And after, I would say 6 months, I decided to open my practice from scratch.
Wow.
And
So where was this associateship? What city?
also here in Los Gatos. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
that's where you landed.
That's where I landed. I love that place. It's if anyone knows Los Gatos, it's right on a mountain. Within 20 minutes, you're in Santa Cruz on a beach.
It's so gorgeous.
Surfing. It's a good place to live and a good place to raise children, which I have now 2 of them.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. So you started your practice and then you got married.
Then I got married, and at the same time I opened my practice. Same year, pretty much almost the same months, to be honest. Get it all over with, and then I practiced for a couple of years, and then we got pregnant with our first son. And I brought that little baby to my office. I didn't really take a lot of time off, and it was good. Everyone helped out. Whenever there was a patient in the waiting room, I handed the little baby to the next patient, and it was a very supportive environment. And it's like we are chiropractors, we are the doctors, and then there's a patient. And but in my practice, as it always is, we are very connected. And I love that. I love the people who come to my office and getting care, and we're helping each other. It was a big help, as you probably can imagine, with a little baby, and you try to grow your practice. But
and that's phenomenal in itself, because you've been in practice for over a decade, right? How many years specifically?
14 years now.
Yeah. So congratulations, you built it from scratch. So there was no other doctor. You were the only one in the office.
Yeah, pretty much.
So how crazy would it get when you had this little baby and you had, patients to see and bills to pay and
crazy.
But stressful. Did you ever break down and cry?
No, never. Maybe
really?
Not. No, probably not. But you know what you do is for myself, I have that mission. I want to make people discover chiropractic and get the benefits from it. So I know that I had to put one foot in front of the other. There was no turning back, and there was no giving up. And I think with that kind of attitude,
Are you back?
You're back. Okay.
So you froze up. So with that kind of attitude, what about it?
With this kind of attitude, you build your practice. You don't give up, and you just stay the course, and you do it. And again, that's I think that what every mom does, right? We just do what we want to do and what we have to do, and making sure everyone has been taken care of, whether it's at home or in the office. Yeah.
But and at the same time, it's almost like your choices, you've limited your choices. I mean, your only choice is to grow the practice.
Yeah.
And that's what you're going to do. So what kind of advice would you give young moms or young moms who are growing their own practice? I mean, you're not the standard. So the standard is chiropractors will marry each other normally.
Oh, they do?
And so,
yeah. I miss that.
That's what's been happening. You miss that.
Yeah.
So you didn't marry a chiropractor. You married someone who is in tech, I think. And so how important is it to have a supportive spouse? How important is it to maybe be in business with your spouse, or so I'm trying to get an idea from your experience.
Because I never been in practice with my spouse, so I don't really know how it would feel. But for me, it was and it still is very important to have a supportive spouse in the background, because when you're out there and you talk with the community and you do your events, somebody has to take care of the kids, and he stepped up and he took care of the kids when I was out there promoting my business and doing what I like to do. I think it's very difficult not to have somebody who is encouraging you and it's on your side. You need a good backbone. Yes, and I definitely have one.
Yeah, you have one personally, and then you have a good support. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's pretty awesome. Now, what do you suggest, or what advice would you give younger women that are coming up? Like, for instance, you just hired an associate, so congratulations.
Yes, thank you. I'm very excited.
Yeah, I'm very excited for you. She's a young DC, and at some point she probably will have kids. So for someone like that, what would be the best advice?
Not to feel too guilty, because that's when we have our kids, we have two sides. We are play doctor during the day, and then when we come home, we are mom, or we are wives, or we are a spouse. And sometimes that feels like we cannot do it all, but we can, because we got to lower our standards for ourselves. We try to do the best for our kids, and we all do. And then when we step into the office, we will try our best too. So that's the first advice I would do. And secondly, for young women coming into the business, just be driven. Know what you do, and be able to articulate it. Be able to bond with your clients and your patients and your friends, and be present. Don't see it as a job. Put anything you have in there, because it's a beautiful profession to be in. I cannot imagine doing anything else. You help people. You're showing them a different outlook of life, a different kind of idea of what health actually means, where disease is coming from, and you give them a glimmer of hope. And I think that's exciting for me. Every single day I come into that office. Last week I had a mom bringing in her child, and she is having knee pain now for 2 years, and there have been, all the tests, and that little girl is suffering. And we took an X-ray, and there's scoliosis, a pretty significant amount of scoliosis.
How old is she?
12. And nobody has seen, nobody thought about looking at the spine for knee pain. So we've been working now with her, and yeah, it's great to, especially seeing kids change, because if you have a 12-year-old kid who is in pain, that little girl is not doing dancing. That little girl is not going to do gymnastics if she has a knee pain. And then if she doesn't do gymnastics, then she is not feeling connected with her friends who do gymnastics. And then later on in life, there could be a lot of things happening. But giving a girl like this that opportunity, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you have any other? I mean, that's a touching story for sure. What is the most, I would say, challenging experience that you've had in building your practice and seeing patients?
That's a good question.
I'm full of them.
Thank you. Let me think about it. What's the most challenging thing is trying to get better and better in what you do, trying to be able to communicate the benefits and the good thing about chiropractic, because there are people who don't, you do your best in describing what you do, and they decide not to try it, and then you feel like you didn't give it your 100%, because I believe everyone should go and get at least checked, right? Every adult goes to the dentist every 6 months. Why not seeing a chiropractor and just making sure everything is aligned? And so that's the most difficult part, to be okay with failure, because you can be as good as you think you are, but there will be people who are not believing in you, or they are not ready. Let's put it, they are not ready yet, but they will be.
Or blame you. Has anyone blamed you?
No, I don't get that a lot. No.
Good.
I don't, because I don't blame people. I take people, and people come in my office, I take them where they at in life. I don't make them feel bad, or I told them, oh, you should have done something different. No, they are right here at the right time in the right office, and we will go from there.
Yeah. Awesome. Now, let me ask you, so in building your practice, because it's super interesting, did you have any guidance, or did you learn everything from your associateship and take it over and build the practice that you have?
No, in the beginning, I had support from my friends who opened their own chiropractic offices, and we've been talking, and we all trying to figure it out, and that was good for the first, I would say, 10 to 12 years. But then for the last 2 years, I found like a mentorship, and that's helping me tremendously. Yeah,
awesome.
So it's always good. If one thing I could do differently from what I've done, if that's possible, which is of course not, I probably would have gone into that mentorship a little bit earlier.
But would you say straight from college? Because I mean, a lot of chiropractors right out of college don't have the funds. So what would you say to those students or new chiropractors?
Yeah, when you go to chiropractic college, what you get, it's a great education. You know what to do. You know how to diagnose. You know what a subluxation means. You know how to adjust. And hopefully you know how to deal with people and bond with them. But what you don't get is a business perspective of being a chiropractor. You can be a really good doctor, a good physician, but if you don't know how to run a business, you're not going to spread your knowledge to the masses. So when it comes to people who just graduate, find a good place you can be an associate for a couple of years. Put your feet into the water and learn the business side of it. Be open to new ideas, and even be open of being uncomfortable and learning stuff you did not learn in school when it even comes to chiropractic. And and then get a business coach. Everyone, I think, needs a coach, right? Even the big tennis players, they still have coach. Basketball players, they have a coach on the sideline. Mm-hmm. Nobody expects them to do it all by themselves. Yeah. That doesn't mean they don't know how to dribble a ball. They're probably pretty good in it, but just they still need a coach, as we all do. You have a coach, right?
I have a coach. I have a few. I mean, it's nice to have an outside perspective, because as humans, we do get emotional about certain situations that happen. I mean, I am more analytical than emotional, but even I have to snap out of certain emotions to continue in business. So, I mean, we're all going to have downfalls. It happens. But yeah, that's super important. And to your point, yes, chiropractors need to learn about the business side, because that's so crucial. If you don't know your numbers, it's hard for anyone to help you. You know, anyone that you hire outside, even a business coach, like anyone. So so that's a really good point. Well, let's wrap this up. Thank you so much for taking the time and jumping on. And is there anything you'd like to close out with? Any suggestions for women out there that comes to mind and you haven't shared? Women who are juggling it all, and it's nice that you do talk about not feeling guilty, because I know that when it comes to children, it's easy to do that. Women, I believe, try to wear too many hats, and doesn't make sense. But for some, they'd rather do that, and it can be cultural too, right? I mean, in California, we're a lot more independent than the Midwest or the South. And
but
East Coast,
for any woman out there, whether she has a career, she's a stay-at-home mom, or whatever she does, just look in the mirror and realize you're doing a good job. Let's do a little bit more of this to each other and to us. And that's how I'm
not cutting each other down.
Yeah.
Supporting each other, high-fiving. I mean, yes, I agree.
It takes a village. I know that sounds corny and cheesy, but it certainly does.
Coming from you, oh my God.
I know. I'm Californianized now.
I know you're Californianized now. You're granola officially.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, let me close out so I can hug that tree right behind me, okay? I haven't hugged that tree for the last 4 hours.
You're hilarious. Okay, well, have a great afternoon, and we will see you again. Okay.
Okay. Thank you,
Bye,
Lily.
everyone. Bye.
Okay, bye.